Before we talk about everything uni, I'm gonna run and get a drink from the mall, so come with me. Alright guys, I got the mango yogurt shake, so yeah, I'm very happy. Okay, we are back. Here's my drink. Okay, so we're gonna talk about everything uni. We're gonna talk about friends, we're gonna talk about retakes, we're gonna talk about friendships, we're gonna talk about classes. I think I said friendship twice. We're gonna talk about like societies I've joined, what saved me in it essentially, because for me, it took me 5 years to complete a 3-year course. Yeah. So the question is, what kept me going, right? But anyways, before we get into all that, I want to talk about friendships, because everybody says that you'll make the best friends for life in uni. I have made amazing friends, that is true, but I didn't meet them right away, and I didn't meet them in my modules or classes. I actually met them through football and through the prayer room, meeting them in the prayer rooms, and I suck. Yeah, so first year I didn't make any friends. I was so depressed, and I was like, everybody makes friends in uni, why haven't I met people? Where are my people then? So yeah, the first year was so hard, and I was so close to dropping out as well, because I remember 2 months before exams, or was it a month before the exams, I rang up my sister. I was in the library pacing, and I was like, girl, I'm so stressed, my health was so bad. At the time I was dealing with like pain, like joint pain and stuff, so I was like, girl, I'm really struggling, I'm thinking of dropping out, like I just can't do it anymore, I just can't. She was like, don't do it, you're gonna regret it, you're gonna regret it for the rest of your life, just keep going and just do it. So ultimately I decided to just go through the exam, just do it and see what grades I get, even if if I fail or whatever, just do it and see what you get. You could do okay, you know what I mean? So yeah, this first year was really hard. I didn't like it. Second year was okay. I think for me, my main struggle with friendship was I was doing English and history, so I was doing joint honours, and so if you do one course or one honor, you get to meet people, you see similar people on all your modules. Me, I was doing 2 English modules and 2 history modules, and the people, like, there was no overlap. I wasn't seeing these girls anywhere, I wasn't seeing these people anywhere. It was just like I would see them once a week in that one classroom where you might not even speak to each other, right? And so in the cafeteria, whatever, nothing was overlapping. I wasn't seeing these people, like I was just finding it really hard to make friends. I remember like talking to this girl that was doing history, and I was like, hey, are you making friends? And I was literally I was just being like straight up vulnerable and just like opening up, and I was like, you know what, let me just talk to this girl for a second about this. And I was like, girl, like I'm not getting on with any of the people from my English modules, and I love everyone from a history module. I don't know what it is, but there was a lot of people that was relatable and fun and cool and down to earth in history modules. But English was very like unrelatable people, and they weren't from London, most of them were from outside London, and I think I was like the only 2 people that were like people of color in that. But yeah, again, I didn't mind, but it was just very like I just couldn't make friends in English, and that's fine, you know what I mean. But history, I think I made like a friend or 2, so that was fun, that was really useful. I felt like as the years went by, I kind of stuck to the history people more, and I made more history friends from like different backgrounds, like Pakistani, whatever, like just all over the world. Yeah, next we're gonna talk about classes. So my classes, some of them were at like 4 p.m, like late classes, 5 p.m. Some were morning ones, like 9 a.m. Uni was hard, bro. Uni was hard. But yeah, I didn't mind the classes, it was fine. Yeah, and then when we went to lockdown, it was all online. Yeah, so I spent my second year and third year in lockdown. But then I spent half my third year, or the latter, when I retook it, like back, everyone kind of came back into the classroom. So next I want to talk about retakes, because I kind of touched on it now, like where I did retake. So my 3-year course, I feel like I'm running through this, but it's fine. So my 3-year course took 5 years, and that's because I was dealing with a lot of health issues. I had like back pain and like joint pain and stuff, so it was a really hard time for me. So I had to think about how was I going to make sure that I wasn't going to fail. And no matter, I came to the conclusion, no matter how long it takes me, how many years it takes me to graduate, the important thing for me was to walk away with a good grade. Okay, so I disclosed my health condition to my uni, and so they allowed me to have an adjustment. So that means when exams came around, I asked if, for example, if I was doing 4 modules in the summer, I asked if I could push the other 2 back forward. And so I would be completing these 2 in, say, whatever the deadline was, and asking for it, because I didn't let up for these 2. So that way I was able to focus on what I can manage with my health. So that meant that there would be times when I could only do 2 module exams that year, and I would do the other 2 the next year. So that sometimes I had to push those like exams back, or these deadlines, to the following year, because I just couldn't handle the stress. I couldn't handle everything, and it was very hard. And I had to think, how can I manage, right? Like, which ones can I handle? You know, if it's all doable, do it that year. And I think during my uni, because it was so stressful, I wasn't really working. I was only doing tutoring on the side, and that was like my pocket change, my travel money, whatever. And so my belief was, I'm not working during uni, just focus on uni, get through uni. And so my health was a priority for me. And another way that I managed was I actually went back home to Somalia for a year, and because I pushed 2 of my exams to the following year, I was able to prepare for that exam while I was in another country, because I don't need to repeat the class, but I just have the exams waiting for me. And so I went to Somalia, and I was like preparing for those modules, just getting everything ready, getting ready for the exam. And I took that exam when I was back home in Somalia. So I was in like cafe shops in Somalia, enjoying the sun, the heat, but also like, oh my god, I've got deadlines. So yeah, it's really interesting doing it remote, because again, everything was in lockdown. So that was a great opportunity for me to go back home, because I don't need to be in school. And because I'm retaking a class, well, not the class itself, but just the module, I could do it remotely from like across the world, and that really helped me. So yeah, that's another thing, and that's another way that I managed. But yeah, so it took me a while, but I think the important thing for me is that I kept going. Next, I want to talk about what saved me, right? Because essentially, like, there's something that saves you when you're in uni, or something that like kind of you love and that you take away and you always reflect on, right? So for me, again, uni was hell, but it taught me so much, and it's personal characteristic things, and you learn so much about yourself. That's what I mean. So what saved me ultimately, one was chopping up my modules and doing what I can manage, bite size. What else saved me? I thought that I was going to do a random society, join societies, make friends, and everything's going to be perfect. I did join societies, but I just couldn't relate to the people. They weren't my people. I don't know what it is. I joined Model UN, but then I wasn't consistent with it. I don't know, just the vibe wasn't there. So I ended up going to a few of the ISOC ones. It was fine. Again, like, it was okay. And then one day, this girl called Yasmin, she started a sisters Sisterhood FC, like football, female only football, and that really saved me because again I like being surrounded by women, and I like activity. I'm a sporty person, and it was on campus because at some activity societies you had to go to a college, or you had to go like walk across campus, you had to go to another building, or like somewhere else outside campus. But the good thing with the Sisterhood FC was that it's on campus, and I just have to go to the field, to the green, and just play with the girlies, come back to the prayer room, just have a chat, play, like just like have a great time, go home together. And I think like a real sisterhood was formed from that, because our uni surprisingly didn't do Somali society so well. So I know some unis do that so well, but ours didn't. And so there was a lot of things that societies would just kept flopping at, and it would just, no society just peaked. Again, nobody wanted to, you know, kind of like take the reins and just like own it and run the societies. So I've seen a lot of societies that just, nothing was just like amazing, the vibes, whatever. Again, people are graduating and leaving as well, the dynamics always changing. But I think Sisterhood FC was the thing for me that did it. Yeah, going back home to Somalia also really helped, because I think when I was in London I was kind of judging myself and being like, oh my god, why is it taking me so long to graduate? Everybody's graduating left, right and center. All my friends are gone, like I have to make new friends now, why is this taking so long? I think when I was into my 4th year in uni and I was in Somalia, and I'm working on the modules and stuff and revising from back home. I think like being away from the UK really helped, because I wasn't judging myself. I wasn't bashing my student identity and be like, why are you still a student? Why don't I get it over with? Like I wasn't bashing myself. I was exploring things and learning things and meeting people and learning about Somalia and Somali cultures and getting to know my relatives on a deeper level. And so I wasn't so focused on my student identity and bashing myself. I was like good on my own head, but I was still going to the cafes to study, make notes and make drafts and deadline drafts and stuff. I think another thing that I did when I was back home was that I started volunteering, and then I started working. And this whole concept of, oh my god, like I'm so stressed with uni, there's no room for anything else. I learned to make room for other things in life. And so I started like, because again I am almost doing a retake and I'm not doing any classes and I have free time, I was then able to give my time to volunteering and work. And that was really helpful. And so when I came back to the UK, I carried on working with that organisation remotely. And so suddenly my identity as a person was, oh my god, I can take on more. I can work. And I know it's hard for like a lot of people to juggle making an earning and also working on studies, because again everybody has to find a way to have some kind of income, right? So yeah, so that was really helpful. And so and then I also had a placement, like a 10-week placement I had to do for my history module. So for like, again, I was doing internship placement, and that was like, whoa, that is so cool. Like I didn't think that had to me. I didn't think I could juggle things. And so I think the last year of uni, 2022, again, it was such a weird year because all my friends had just like, you know, graduated. It was my 5th year at Goldsmiths, and I was so alone, and the libraries were, a lot of the time, was just so empty and nobody was there. It was so eerie, and it was like, and then it was getting close to the summer, and again, nobody wants to be indoors in the library in summer. Everybody's outside doing hot girl summer, and I was in the library. I was in the goddamn library alone in my 5th year of uni, studying and doing a module. Like I honestly, I don't know what kept me going. I think I found a way to cope, which is like social media. I created an Instagram page dedicated to like my uni experience in uni, and you know, vlogs and whatever, and reels. And I was also doing TikToks as well, like again, no face content. So that really helped as well, just making it so fun, creating TikToks every day. And that was like really helped me stop me feeling so lonely, and just use my experience and to create content and just have fun with it. As much as it was so lonely, I think it taught me so much, because right now it's been 2 years since I finished uni. Well, not 2 years, but yeah, like a year and a bit. And I'm across the world right now. I'm in Malaysia, and again, I'm in a situation where I have no friends and nobody to relate to, and I have no family. I'm here with my husband, and so going through uni and being in your own journey and trusting your own journey and sticking to it as well, and just creating your own bubble and your own content, and just enjoying the journey and making the journey fun and having solo enjoyment, and just feel like I'm gonna make it fun. That's an amazing lesson and trait that I want to take with me into this new chapter in my life, where right now it's just, I feel like I'm on a solo path by myself in this new country, trying to figure out what can I do, like what do I want to do, you know what I mean? Where does my life gonna lead me? You know what I mean? I don't know. And I think, and it told me to be okay if it takes you longer than other people. It's fine if it takes you longer than other people. Okay. So yeah, those are some of the things that saved me. I'm really happy for my experience. I'm really, really happy for my experience. I really am. Yeah, really happy for my experience. Would I do it again? No. But would it be worth it if I did it again? Yeah. Because it made me really, really strong. Made me very strong. Yeah, and I'm very happy. So my uni wasn't the best unis in the world, because at the time we were going through strikes and everything else, so much drama. Yeah, and it was an artsy uni as well. But yeah, honestly, it wasn't the best vibes, but I feel like that's life, isn't it? Once you leave high school, you realize very quickly that there's no uniform, everybody in the same halls, full classroom, full cafeteria, full everything. You will see in like it's, again, after high school, it's whoever wants to be there will be there. Nobody's forced. Nobody's gonna force you to turn up to class. Nobody's gonna force you to turn up to cafeteria. Nobody's gonna force you to turn up to the library. Nobody's gonna force you to turn up to anything. And I think that's another thing that I realized, is that it was so very few people, and the people that are there might not be relatable in any way, and it just might be like lonely. You might just be doing it solo, and that's fine. Same with life, like you might find yourself doing your own thing. And I think the great with internet community is that if you're doing something in real life and you're alone and it's lonely, you can't find anyone around you to be that's relatable, you can find online community and you can lean on that. And you can pick up your phone and create an Insta page and TikToks about your little community or your little experience of what you're doing to make it less lonely. And that's what you can do. Post high school, nobody's supposed to do anything. It's just a big wide world, and you're told to go out and just play. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to figure out more about myself in this big world that I'm told to go and play. So that's my uni recap. But yeah, if I was to rate uni and my uni experience out of 10, I would rate it 7.5. Yeah, solid 7.5. All right, bye.